Here is the best hack to make your small business recession-proof. Time is money. Let's get into it. My name is Bill Ray, and I want to be your go-to small business consulting expert. Today, we're going to talk about how you get certified as a minority-owned business, and I'm going to break it down into 5 steps. The first step is deciding through which agency to be certified. Be advised that there are numerous types of certifying agencies. There are both public sector and private sector minority certifications, as well as specialized industry minority certification organizations. There are, of course, federal business certification organizations which cover all states in the U.S. At the federal level, it's called DBE certification, or Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification. At the state level, there's often going to be minority certification offered directly through your state government. So when you get certified through your state, that'll cover you for all products and services you want to sell to state agencies. However, there are also often local government agency authorities like your local city or county government, your state's Department of Transportation, or even the regional airport that may have their own separate certification process. As if that weren't enough hoops to jump through, there are also regional and national business consortiums like the National Minority Supplier Development Council that have their own certification process. Now, the good news is that while each certifying agency may have their own process, they all require basically the same information and documentation. Some may require a little more information than others depending on your industry, so just make sure you're paying attention during the application process. So, before you get started with any minority certification application, I want you to remember 2 things. 1, just because you're certified through one agency does not make you certified by the others. And 2, not every buyer that you want to sell your product or service to is going to accept every certification. They may only accept one certification through a specific MBE certifying authority. Therefore, we generally suggest you figure out who you want to sell to, find out what minority certification they accept, and go after that certification. Also be advised that while local, state, and federal governments have procurement programs that can support certifying minority businesses, a lot of large private sector companies, Fortune 500 companies and the like, have similar minority procurement programs. So make sure you consider going after those as well. And depending on the product or service you offer, you may actually want to hold and maintain multiple minority certifications in order to take advantage of all available procurement opportunities. Step 2, you have to set up a legal entity, and that can take the form of an LLC or a corporation. Most entrepreneurs these days go with an LLC, which is a limited liability company, because it's generally going to be the fastest way to get set up at the most reasonable cost while giving you the needed legal protections. Now, if you already have an LLC, wonderful. If you don't, there of course are platforms online that will get you set up, or you can contact us at moveworth.com and we'll get you set up with your LLC in any state in the US. In order to qualify as a minority-owned business, your company must be a for-profit business that is at least 51% owned by a minority or non-white person. And just as a side note, nonprofits do not qualify for minority certification. Some certifying agencies will allow you to apply as a sole proprietor, but make sure you check with that specific agency. Step number 3, once your business is registered as a legal entity, you will need to have a business banking account as part of the application process. Government agencies are not going to make a deposit into your Cash App or your Venmo account. They expect you to have a traditional business account to receive or deposit payments. Once you have a contract and you're receiving payments, they will only make direct deposits into the business bank account, or more likely, send you a check in the name of your company. Minority business certifying agencies are going to require you to have a business checking account as part of the application, and will likely require you to also submit what's called a bank signature card, which shows who has access to the account and who are the owners of the account. In a lot of ways, this is the agency's secondary check on business ownership. They want to know for sure that you're a minority-owned business. If you have an LLC, for example, the Articles of Incorporation will have a clause that outlines legal ownership through your Secretary of State's office. But the business banking account shows who actually has authority to transact business on the company's behalf. Step number 4, there will be a list of documents that you will be required to provide to any certifying agency. Now let's go through a few items on that list because that list can be rather daunting. You'll need your personal and business federal income tax returns for the last 3 years. Now, if you're a newer business and you have not been established for 3 years, you obviously won't have 3 years of tax returns. In which case, you will have to let the agency know that you just started your business a year ago or 2 years ago. Therefore, you're only able to submit 1 or 2 years of federal and personal tax returns, and that should be sufficient. But just so you understand, most certifying agencies will actually allow you to certify as a minority business, even if your business is brand new. But make sure you check with that specific certifying agency. The certifying agency will also want to know where your business is being operated from. Home-based businesses are generally fine for certification. However, if you are renting or leasing commercial space, even if it's a co-working facility, you will need to provide the rental or lease agreement. If you own or lease any vehicles or equipment for the business, they're going to want that documentation as well. If you're required to have some sort of business or personal licensing for the business or for yourself in order to run the business, you will need to provide that documentation also. Agencies will also want documentation of the original investment made to start the business. For example, if you have a consulting business and you deposited $200 into the business account, they may require a printout of the actual deposit receipt showing that that deposit was made by you. If you have a business that's been in operation, the certifying agency may ask you to provide a balance sheet and/or an income statement for each year of operation. If you're a new business and don't have any income, they may still require a balance sheet for your business. Now, if you've never had to produce these kinds of financial documents, I would encourage you to work with your accountant in order to get these documents produced. But if you're pretty good with numbers, one of my favorite platforms is formswift.com for business documents, and we'll put a link in the bio. They have tons of business document templates that can be used easily and edited online to fit your needs. You'll need to submit some sort of proof of residency verifying where you live, as well as a birth certificate, which will help verify your identity and minority status. Finally, you want to attach resumes for all the owners of the company, and it's important to mention that in your resume, you want to make sure you add details about the business that you're certifying, and you want to make sure that you're putting in your resume your specific duties with respect to the business you are certifying, because they will be looking for that. Now, if you've appreciated the information thus far, please hit the like and subscribe to this channel because we got more content coming your way, including an upcoming session where we'll talk about the long-term challenges of minority business certification and how to deal with those hurdles. So let's get back into it. Step number 5. Once you've decided which minority certification agency you want to apply to and you've begun the collecting of all the necessary information and documentation needed for the application, don't hesitate to contact our team at MoveWorth. Telling you that the minority business certification process can be frustrating would be an understatement. Nowadays, most applications are done entirely or almost entirely online. However, applications usually have to be completed within a certain time frame, or they'll be deleted from the platform that you're applying on, and you'll have to start over. You may even have to re-register in order to get certified. Also, during the application review process, the certifying agency will often ask for additional documentation or clarification on information submitted. Be ready for that. So if you want someone to walk you through the process or coach you through the process of getting certified, we'd be more than happy to help you. You can go to moveworth.com and book a free consultation. We'll put the links in the description below. Getting your minority business certification will take some effort, but it's worth it if you want to grow your business and make it recession-proof. Until next time, get up, get to work, get rest, repeat.